Brad, one of the hallmarks of your team and your tenure has been the 3-point defense. What's happened this year to cause it to fall off so far?
I think that, and I've said before, there are certain things that factor into that. I said, and I truly believe, like, if we're going to be any good, we've really got to pressure the ball because of our size. And we haven't been as good at that, and we haven't been as good getting to the airspace of shooters. Now, some of these tonight, Dragic hit the 2 or 3 threes that were unbelievable. They had a couple of others, but there were also a few where we were late. We were late on switches. We were late to airspace. And, we've been, I'd say, less consistent than years past, obviously, at defending generally, but certainly getting the 3-point shooters.
Andres Lopez.
Thank you. Coach, Kemba Walker shared a little bit of a playful taunt with Andre Iguodala after deflecting a pass at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Can you talk about how the every play matters mentality will fuel you guys in your playoff push, especially looking into a possible play-in tournament?
Well, Kemba is obviously an enormous key for us. I thought he did a lot of good things tonight. His energy is something that we need at a high level for us to be the best that we can be. And, we need it from everybody, but certainly he's had a good couple of weeks here from an individual standpoint.
Gary Washburn.
Brad, it just seems like you know what they're going to do. You played Miami 20 times in the last 10 months or 18 months. How frustrating is it that you really can't stop it? I mean, when Dragic, Robinson, and Hero are both hot from the three, they're a very tough team to beat. But how do you stop it? What could you have done differently tonight?
Well, first and foremost, we talked about it even in the locker room. We had so many unsolid possessions that ultimately we were off the body of shooters early. And then we switched out of, convenience and not necessity. And it really hurt us. And as a result, later in the game, there's more indecision. And, you see that all the time with teams. Best teams that I've been around fix it quickly. And, I will say that we had some guys that, I think can really improve quickly in that area, but we haven't been that great as a team at that. When they were playing through Bam as the hub and cutting, it was terrific. They did a great job, and he's such a good passer and such a smart player that he was just picking us apart. And their cutters were, not settling and cutting through contact every time, doing difficult things, doing sacrificial cuts for other people to get a shot. They did a great job of that. And they're very hard to guard. Like you said, when those guys are all making shots around Bam or around Jimmy, it's very difficult.
John Corrales.
Brad, you've talked all season, and you referenced it before the game, about wanting to get whole and peak at the right time. When you look across the court and see what Miami's gone through and how similar their turnaround was to yours, do you see what you wish you could have become?
Well, yeah, you haven't seen Oladipo yet. I think that team's got a chance to be, and I said this coming in when we were getting ready to play them, that team full, nobody's going to want to play because they can go win anywhere. They can make shots anywhere. They can have 2 or 3 different guys make shots on a given night that maybe don't do as much the night before. And they just have a lot of firepower, and they're obviously exceptionally well coached. I've said that, and they do look like they're peaking at the right time. And obviously we still have a week left before the play-in start. But time is running out to do that. So, we've got to play well tomorrow. We've got to play better and see if we can't, find the best version of ourselves over the next week and get ready for likely next Tuesday.
Final 2 questions for Coach. We'll go to Jay King.
Brad, you said Jalen found out the news about his injury on Friday. You guys are 0-3 since then. Have you seen that deflate your team? And if so, how have you seen that show up on the court? And then second part, looks now like you guys are probably destined for the play-in tournament. Will that impact how you deal with the roster, whether it's with Robert Williams or sitting other guys down the stretch?
Well, I think obviously you want to finish in as high a seed as you can, even if you're in the play-in, and so I don't know how that all shapes out. I'll go look at all that stuff, and we'll figure it out. But yes, we will manage that appropriately and accordingly. As far as the Jalen news, I don't know how many guys knew before. Before, certainly not before Friday, but maybe not even before Sunday's game. I know there was a handful of us that knew. I'm sure some of the guys would know, but he was still gathering information and opinions and all that stuff from a number of different people. So nothing was solidified in that regard. And that's part of it. You have to be able to have other guys step up and be ready and find the best version otherwise.
Final question, Jared Weiss.
Brad, you were just talking about the importance of sacrificial cuts this season, and especially of late, it seems like a lot of your younger and supporting players have been trying to figure out how to play around guys like Jason and your best players, high usage guys. Do you want to see the rest of the team making more of those sacrificial cuts?
Well, we need to be a better cutting team. It's a little bit more difficult without Rob. We've tried to play with Rob as the hub at times, but that's what he does really well is pass. But it's a little bit more difficult when you don't have. I thought Grant made a couple of nice plays with the ball today. Like I said earlier, we have to find the best version of this group that's available right now. And so some of that will be off the ball cuts. Some of that will be with the ball. Some of that will be spacing appropriately so we can drive the ball. And then we've always got to make the right reads and get off of it quickly. I thought that tonight that got us a little bit, not as much as the other day. We've improved from the other day, but we still have to get better at that if we want to, do anything significant.
We'll wrap it up right there.